this is a country where name holds a lot of significance. That's what Yogi Adityanath said. He also added that most of the names in India are related to Ram and is widely used by scheduled castes.
We do have this fuck up every few years, don't we? To rename or not to rename. Also, there is a case to be made that some people seem to have gone a bit overboard this time. But hey, we're not the only ones to do it. Great cities across the world have changed names. For example, take Afghanistan, a country where multiple cities were named Alexandria after Alexander the Great. These names were later changed to Kandahar, Herat, Ghazni and Al-Khanom. And closer home, we've done it loads of times. Mamabai became Buavida, became Bombay, became Mumbai. Indraprastha became Delhi.
And I have no clue why this beautiful forest behind me would be called Sanjay Gandhi National Park.
It's safe to say that we have a deep relationship with names. But why is that? Why are state and central governments so obsessed with the incessant renaming and the re-renaming of cities and streets? And why does it create an uproar? What is the fuss all about? Let's dial it back a bit. The truth is that subcontinent is not new to this whole strange game of naming and renaming. Since ancient times, it is said to have had multiple names like Jamudvipa, Bharatvarsh, Sapt-Sindhu, Aryavrat and so on. The purveyors of Sanskrit called this land Sindhu, which meant the land beyond Sindh River. In the 5th century BC, when Persians visited the subcontinent, they called it Hindu, which is just a slight corruption of the word Sindhu. When the Greeks came into contact with Persians, they came to know of this vast land, rich beyond measure. They corrupted the name further and called it Indos or Indus, and the people who lived beyond Indus were now called Indoi. And hey, when the Romans took over Europe, Latin translations transformed the name from Indos to India. Old English retained this name, and since 8th century, Europeans never forgot India. However, Rig Veda, the oldest of the Vedas, bears no record of any official name for the subcontinent. Ancient cultures like Greeks, the Chinese, the Indians were not obsessed with documentation, unlike the medieval and modern Europeans. In fact, ancient cultures were not too concerned with names and borders anyway. Isn't that odd? The ancients were not obsessed, but at some point, humans seem to have sensed the importance of naming things, for a good reason perhaps. For example, medieval alchemists believed in naming of things in order for them to gain power over them, to inflict change and to gain complete dominance over the natures. If fire was fire and water now water, it was possible for people to communicate their learning through observation that water douses fire. If alchemists didn't have a word for gold, there wouldn't have been an end game to their pursuit. No value structure, no purpose and no direction. There would have been no alchemy, there would have been nothing. So what do we have now? Names give us the power over controlling change. Apply that to geopolitics for a second. When Europeans came to the subcontinent, they were well versed in the philosophy of nominalism. Through their vast experience in subverting indigenous cultures across the world, they were able to take advantage of its application in real life. They decided to retain the name India and made it official amongst the world orders. They had already conquered most of the world anyway. By telling the hapless souls in the subcontinent that they were now all Indians, the Europeans, especially the British amongst them, gained mysterious power over the masses. They managed to gradually divorce populations from their representative historic identities with time. The successive Indian generations were now socio-cultural and geopolitical bastards. It was only a matter of time before Europeans started classifying us by our religions. The majority was what? Our religion had no blanket name, you see. It was an umbrella religion with innumerable schools of thoughts and philosophies. This was also the reason it had survived for so long with countless wars and genocide. There was no terminology in existence at the time to represent this multi-deity worshipping heathen culture. But they still called us Hindu. It didn't matter that the term Hindu had nothing to do with the religion. Up until Europeans arrived, the name Hindu was just a socio-cultural identifier for the people living here. But Europeans changed the socio-cultural identifier by adding a religious flavor to it. The term Hindu just didn't identify the people of subcontinent anymore. It also identified their religion and nature of their faith. The Brits named a religious majority, and a religious minority was born as well. And to the Muslims, the Christians, the Sikhs, and many more. Once they named us, they were able to divide us. Get it? They changed the landscape with the divide and rule policy. Ultimately, it became a geopolitical calamity with two sets of partitions over half a century with disastrous results. The trauma can be felt even today. Yet, you will hear us all ask of ourselves, aren't we the same people though? What changed? This is how political administration and power wields control. Bombay became Mumbai, showing that we have learned our lesson from the Brits well. Madras became Chennai, and so on.
नाम का बड़ा भारी महत्व होता है। इस देश के अंदर सबसे अधिक नाम राम से जुड़ते हैं।
So why does our own government, which is elected by us, continue to do so? Why is Ahmedabad changed to Karnavati and Allahabad to Prayagraj? The controlling of names helps snatch influence from the previous regimes, be it political, socio-cultural, religious, or all three. This in turn helps shape a new geography with a new narrative lens for its history, and ultimately, a new socio-cultural framework with unimaginable consequences for the so-called majority and minority populations. You get the drift. Think. The renaming is just the first step in complete metamorphosis. Can you learn from history then and predict the future?
Hey guys, thanks for watching. We really hope you liked this video. If you really liked it, then hit the subscribe button, share this with your friends, and tell them about this channel. We're going to be coming out with a lot more videos over the course of time. This video was written by my friend Sandeep, who's an upcoming novelist. I have mentioned his Twitter account in the description. Go give him a follow, give him a shout out on Twitter. He would really appreciate the love. Tell us about the videos that you want us to make, and we'll keep making them. Just keep commenting, guys, and see you next time.